Hello, welcome back to Lombardi Sweep. Janet Wilson on the bottom left, Luke Reimer, Trevor Land. I'm Zach Bruner. And Packers locked up a 1 seed. Packers have a first round bye. Packers play the Lions this week. Packers beat a Sean Mannion led Vikings team last week. And we're sort of just living in purgatory, in my opinion. Like nothing matters, but we know what's coming up ahead. And boy,
No,
am I
man.
excited for it. It's Wisconsin sports,
Flashbacks.
baby. It's going to happen.
Puma is pissed.
Puma's like, what's happening? What's
He
going to
wants to
happen?
speak to the manager.
It's been 38 seconds and we already have an extremely visual joke that we are off to a running start here.
That's right. Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Watch it if you would like to see Pumbaa attack Janet, kill Janet live on air, possibly. Yeah, so Packers beat Lions. Luke, you were at the game, obviously very cold. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about from the game other than it was a blowout against a bad team?
Mike Zimmer has to be fired, right? Like their season was hanging on by a thread. And they came in, granted, no Thielen, no Kirk Cousins, but they look completely uninspired. The play calling was horrible. I mean, it's like they laid down from the time they got off the plane. So he's got to be on his way out, right? After that performance.
I thought he was on his way out before and they extended him. So I guess I don't really know the politics of the Vikings very well. I think he's a bad football coach or bad head coach. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, but he's a bad head coach. Their offensive coordinator is Kubiak's son, and he's worse than Gary Kubiak, which says something. It's just, I don't know. I think they need to completely clear everything, but at the very least, they need to fire Kubiak and get somebody who knows how to call plays. Personally, I don't know if anyone else has a different opinion. Does Janet love Mike Zimmer? Is she a big Mike Zimmer fan?
I don't like his
No.
face.
Well, that's just kind of rude.
Fair enough.
No.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
I just don't. No, I don't. I feel like he has a really bad attitude. I don't know. That's just me. I can read people.
Does he have a worse face and attitude than Matt Nagy? What are the coach power rankings in the NFC North according to Janet?
If Dan Campbell isn't one, I don't want to hear it.
He's number one. I like him because he doesn't give a crap. Like he's out here telling people that it's snowing when we all know what that means.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, so I think he's cool because I feel like he's willing to just put it all on the table. He has no filter, and I like when people are just themselves. So, but no, I don't know. I never really cared for Matt Nagy, honestly. But no, I don't. I don't like Zimmer. I don't know. Like there's something about him, especially because he's really salty all the time. I don't know. He loses and he doesn't know how to be. I don't know. He's annoying.
He's the coach of the Vikings. Would you not also be salty if you had to be the coach of Kirk Cousins?
Oh God.
All the Vikings fans at the game were calling him Cyclops.
You're right. I would totally be angry every day just looking at Kirk Cousins' face. Like
I think that's an oxymoron. True. I don't think Janet can be angry, but
I can. I can be very angry. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people were saying that this is probably like the best and most more complete they've ever seen the Packers play. But then you also have to look at the way the Vikings showed up. Like Trevor said, they kind of showed up like half-ass, no motivation, just like, oh, we're here so we don't get fined. Yes, I think the Packers were really electric this game, but I also feel like the Vikings were not trying at all. So I think that's what mainly made us look like really electric, like they said.
The one thing I want to bring up, and Luke, you let me know if anybody in the crowd was talking about it at all. He might be. Anytime I talk, he just starts dozing off.
No, I'm good, man.
If you want to know, just watch the Bucks podcast. Anyways, the offensive line Did you hear anything about the offensive or defensive line at the game, Luke? Because I talked to Zach about it before the show. Rice Newman doing Rice Newman things on multiple occasions. Was anybody talking about that, or was everybody just kind of having a good time glazing over it?
I don't want to say everyone was having a good time. I don't think anyone was having a good time because of how cold it was. A lot of people couldn't talk. It didn't seem like they were talking to each other. The beer wasn't flowing. Like I was looking around, and not that many people were drinking beer. It was just kind of a weird off night. I don't know. Watching it kind of felt off. I'm sure it felt off watching it on TV because it really didn't mean anything. Sure, a 1 seed, but what else? We already knew that was coming. I don't know. Like Zach started off saying, it's purgatory. It just feels like, yeah, we won, but you don't feel too great about it.
If I may,
No.
Luke, I think some of the reason it felt so weird is because you were not drinking beer.
Yeah.
If I may.
That could be.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people talking about how the Packers are back to how they played so well. To Jan's point, I guess, look at the opponent. It doesn't really mean much. If Conor McGregor stepped into the ring with me and knocked me out, would he be back? Possibly, but probably not. I don't think so. I think he hopefully could do that. So yeah, the Vikings, they usually don't show up when they play outside anyways. When it's cold, it gets worse. When they don't have Kirk Cousins or Adam Thielen, it gets even worse than that. I will say the Packers' defensive line stopped Dalvin Cook. Obviously, they didn't have to stop a quarterback or a passing game, so that made it easier, but still they contained him, which is good.
Didn't he get injured too? He was limping off the field or something.
He's always injured. So, I mean, I don't take much stock in it. Like, yeah, he's still hurt.
To be fair to your comparison, Zach, it'd be like if Conor McGregor knocked you out in like the third round because the Packers were just settling for field goals and couldn't get in the end zone for the first couple drives. Granted, it's because DeGuara wanted to pull his best Jay Sternberger impression out of his ass, but it still counts.
Yeah, there's a reason why when the Packers drafted DeGuara, everyone called him a fullback and not a tight end, and that's because he cannot catch. He also can't block very well. He can't really run routes. He's kind of athletic. I'm not sure why he's here, but he's open a lot. He's like exactly in the same role that Robert Tonyan was last year, except for Robert Tonyan caught the passes. So I don't know. There's upside with him. I think maybe he's fine. He's not their worst draft pick. Amari Rodgers might be actually, and Trevor wanted to talk about. Obviously, we signed Brown, right? I can't remember what his first name is. David Moore, that's right. Obviously, he played well with the Seahawks in the playoffs before, and he was a good special teamer. And we didn't really play him on kickoff at all, which was interesting. We played him on kick return, punt return, and I mean, in my opinion, he looked better than Amari Rodgers immediately, mostly because he has some sort of speed and can catch a football. Small sample size, but like it's to that point where we used a third and a fourth round draft pick to grab Amari Rodgers, and we signed an equivalent player off the practice squad in week 17 for cheaper. And maybe that's why I was angry earlier in the year, and maybe that's why I was negative. I'm not sure, but I don't know, Trevor. You wanted to talk about it, like
that was the trigger. That was it.
There were a lot of triggers. Also, maybe me voting for Royce Newman for the Pro Bowl, but neither here nor there.
Jesus, yeah.
It was so weird too, because like you see Dave Moore return. I think his longest was 21 yards, if I'm not mistaken. He had 3 for 33 on the night. And it was insane because he had I think his first went for 11 or something like that. It didn't go for a ton. And I was like, holy crap, our special teams is good. I was like, wait a second. No, this is just what serviceable looks like. Our special teams has been so bad that this is just average and it looks amazing. So it's nice to see that, but then it's also scary because we seemingly can't have a complete special teams because Bajorquez was he was bad. And it seems like he's been getting worse lately, and that's not great.
No, it seemed like mentally he was just kind of out of it the entire game. Obviously, the hold and the bad punts. There's just something a little off. I wouldn't think it would be weather because he spent a few years in Buffalo, and Buffalo is certainly not nice. So Who knows? He's coming off the COVID list. I'm not sure if he had COVID or not. Doesn't really matter. But maybe there's something with that. Maybe he wasn't 100%. I hope it turns around. But I don't know.
Soon.
Seems very Packers-like. It seems par for the course. It seems about right to me. So, couple board. Miss a couple more punts, please. Kickoff team, though, I thought was good. Mason Crosby, for some reason, had strength in his leg, and he got some touchbacks. That's cool. That was great. Kickoff team was pretty much the same one that they've ran. And like I said, I wanted more to be on the kickoff team. I think he's better than probably half of these guys. But at the same time, if they're going to keep this kickoff team intact and to form some sort of chemistry, I think that's good too. In terms of tackles, Tipa, Gallier, or whatever, Henry Black, Rasul Douglas were the three who made tackles. Ornbergs assisted on one, and my boy Adam missed another tackle, so I'm pretty proud of him. He's one of the guys I think Moore probably could replace in all facets of his game. I think Moore would be a better cornerback as well. So I think we need to cut our losses with him before it's too late. To get anybody else, to be completely honest, we don't need another cornerback. But yeah, I think special teams as a whole was good. Crosby still made the kick on that missed hold, and whatever. Away we
Was the
go.
wind blowing, Luke? Because that's
Not
the
really.
only thing I was thinking. Because in the second and third quarter, they were kicking the same way. So I was like, maybe it's the wind. But
About
yeah, maybe.
5 miles an hour, not much.
Hey, everything helps when you got an old leg back there.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's cool. This week, obviously, everything's wrapped up. There's absolutely nothing to play for. Packers have a first-round bye. Packers seem determined to play their starters for some length of time. I would assume that's more of tied to the success they have early. Like if the Packers offense go down and have 2 touchdown drives immediately, which will not happen, but if they do, I think they would probably sit the rest of the game. I'm interested what your guys' opinion on that is, because obviously nothing to play for. Do you play your starters to continue the momentum? And I would question if there is any momentum, but you don't continue the momentum, or do you sit them and worry about rust in a few weeks? Personally, for me, I feel like this situation is different than what everybody else is speaking about on Sports Talk right now, because it's not like the Packers have nothing to play for this week and then they jump into a game next week. Like they're for sure off next week anyways. So talking about, oh, you need to keep momentum going. To me, the momentum's lost next week no matter what. So I would prefer to have Rodgers not get headhunted by Dan Campbell. But if he gets knocked out, I can't be mad because it's Dan Campbell. So I'm sort of in a win-win situation here anyway. But what's your guys' thoughts? Janet, you can start. Like, what's your thoughts on the whole momentum thing versus saving our guys for health reasons?
I would rather save them for health reasons. And then also because of COVID as well. Like, I don't want them playing on the field and then another COVID outbreak because they were on the field. Even though it spreads through the locker room either way. But I don't know. I just would rather, especially Rodgers, like he doesn't need to. He didn't even show up to practice at the beginning of the season. He'll be fine if he sits out for this game. Although I know he said he wants to play and he wants to be out there with his guys. But I just feel like he should probably sit this out. Also because of his toe injury. I know everybody's saying like it's fake or whatever because he's playing so well with it. But no, I just think he should probably sit this out, and I think Devontae Adams should also sit it out. I think they should sit out all our, our starters and our all the players that the big names. I think they should sit them out for now. Honestly, it's the Lions. We'll be fine.
What's your thoughts, Luke?
It makes sense to me that they should sit out, obviously, for the health reasons. And then coming into basically a 2-week bye after. I mean, it's a lot different than hitting your guys compared to hitting another team. I would imagine that if the starters don't play on Sunday, there's gonna be some fights going on in practice come next week, just because guys haven't got out to play another team in a very long time. I don't know that rust plays a factor because these guys are getting conditioned every day. The only thing they're not doing is just playing another team. So I do think I'm on the same I'm on the same side as you, Jen, and it sounds like you, Zach, of wanting players to rest. And then it just gives them that much more hyped up come divisional round when they finally have a game.
Overall, I like momentum. Like and LaFleur talked about when he was at the Rams. I think he said they did like research into it, and they said it was better to play their guys. So that I like. But to your point, Zach, it's 2 weeks, so it's not like we're playing next week. So then momentum really doesn't matter. So I don't think it matters for that reason. Then you throw in that it's Aaron freaking Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of the whole offense beside Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Those guys don't need to practice at all, clearly. Aaron Rodgers didn't practice for how many days before the Arizona game and he tore him to shreds. I think it's different seeing who we have and the extra layoff, but overall, I think it's a solid idea. But here, I don't see what good comes out of it.
So I'm not saying this is the reason, but it just sort of popped into my head, so I looked it up. Aaron Rodgers gets another 100K if he finishes top 3 in the league in touchdown passes, and he's currently tied third in the NFL for touchdown passes. He's tied at 35 with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. If somehow he can throw 2 or 3 and at least tie, he would get that money. He also has incentives if he makes the playoffs and all the playoff ones. Has a 72.5% snap share, so that'll count into it as well. Obviously, he already missed one game, so he wants to make sure he hits that. That's another 100K. Passer rating, top 3, that's 100K. Completion percentage, top 3 is 100K. Interception percentage, which she'll be fine, but that's 100K. And top 3 in yards per attempt is 100K. I'm not sure where he ranks with that, but that's obviously a tough one to move in one game. But I mean, he could, help make 300K or so by playing a half. I don't know if people want to get mad at him about money already anyway, so who knows if that's a real thing. I don't know about, obviously, his teammates' incentives. There isn't a real... I looked at their stats. It doesn't seem like there's a significant milestone for any of them, but I'm not sure. Mercedes Lewis hasn't gotten a touchdown yet this year. I think that's probably a good bet to try to get him into the end zone in a meaningless game. But yeah, I don't know. I can't blame him.
I think I did see Devontae, if I'm not mistaken, is 21 yards behind Nelson for most in one season.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that might be something where they just pepper him the first 2 drives.
Sure. That makes sense. He's also 2 yards short of 1,500. Rodgers is 23 yards short of 4,000. Those are nice numbers to hit. So I don't know. I've heard stories. I'm sure from Pat McAfee talking about Peyton Manning, how they were in the huddle figuring out everyone's incentives on the last week of the season, making sure that we all hit those incentives before we go to the sideline and sit out the rest of the game. So it feels like that sort of situation. But Dan Campbell's not going to let that happen either. So I don't know. They might take till overtime. They may have to try to tie the game. It'll be interesting. The pessimistic side of me heard Rodgers say, and first heard LaFleur say that Rodgers was going to say, and I thought, he wants Rodgers to get a lead so Jordan Love can come in and then win the game after he gets spotted 3 touchdowns or something. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but maybe. Hey, would that be surprising?
You don't think the Lions could come back 3 scores against Jordan Love? Come on.
Oh, I hope they do. I really hope they
easily do it. Alex Anzalone at least 1 pick 6. Cabinda's gonna fall into the end zone.
Easy. Yeah, he'll probably return one. They'll put him back there. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I would assume if I had to take a guess at how long these guys play, I would say a quarter. But like I said, it's probably tied to performance. Um, Hopefully, we see a full half of Jordan Love. No matter what happens this offseason, like they need to see more Jordan Love. Everyone does because it makes the most sense to trade him. It benefits everybody involved to do that. I'm not saying they will do that because I'm sure they won't. But if he goes out there and lights it up and has a Matt Flynn like performance and can earn money with somebody else, that would be fantastic. Make sure Pittsburgh's watching the game. Make sure they have a nice live stream the entire time because that's what I want. Let's get Jordan Love out of here for a fifth, sixth. Maybe like a nice sandwich. Pittsburgh has some nice sandwiches.
I'll take a couple needles for like the air pumps for the balls.
That's fine too. Like it doesn't matter. First time the Packers played the Lions, we remember Lions were up 17-14 at the half. Packers scored 21 unanswered in the second half, 135-17. This week, Packers are favored by 3.5 on the road. Over under is 44.5. Obviously, people are talking about the offensive players in terms of snap counts and stuff. I would assume defense is the same, which raises the question, once you take those players out, who comes in? So now we're asking all our special teams starters here to play a ton. They're not good, but yeah, well, one, they're not good. Two, they're going to get hurt because they're not used to playing this long. And like I said, Dan Campbell's having his boys head hunting. So we're going to be using the bye week to figure out a new special teams unit, I'm sure. Man, I don't know what to say about this game. Keys to victory. Let's go there. Janet, what do the Packers need to do to beat down the seemingly unbeatable Detroit Lions?
Have to show up, honestly.
Notice how Zach and I aren't laughing.
I agree, Janet.
I know you guys are on his are on the Lions
Smart.
team. You're on the Lions side right now.
Part of Campbell's crew.
Heathens.
Yeah, the Campbell's crew. Nah. Is it bad that I kind of want the Lions to win just for funsies?
Yeah.
It would be super funsies. Everyone thinks that's great. Everyone wins.
I kind of want them to win. Yeah, I want Jamal Williams to get I don't know. I feel bad for him. I want him to get a win at the end of the season just for fun. At this point, yeah. I don't know. I kind of want the Lions to win. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad because it's already over.
True. Luke, what are your thoughts?
I don't want the Lions to win. I hate the Lions.
Okay.
Excuse you. I think obviously a key of this game is nobody get hurt, right? And that's starters, backups, anyone who plays, nobody get hurt. I do think that for the Packers to win, defense line needs to show up. I think Detroit wants to run the ball. They're not really playing for anything, so it doesn't make sense to have Jared Goff throw 70 times in a game or whoever's going to start a quarterback for him. So if they're rotating these guys in, get guys like T.J. Slayton, Kingsley Keke, get them some reps, get them going, and just throw them out there for a while, see what they can do. I think defensive line gets going. Lions won't be able to run the ball well, and I don't think that they want to pass much. So I think defensive line is definitely a big key for this game.
If Jared Goff is out, our boy Timmy B is playing. Never lost a coin toss in his life. I think, honestly, Jordan Love just has to not completely suck, which he hasn't shown us yet. And I think on top of that, I think LaFleur needs to help Jordan Love a little bit in his play calling, like a lot of it. I think if that happens, they'll be all right. I can see it, to Zach's point, being something where the starters score 2 touchdowns. I think it's a 14-7 game. Can Jordan Love coast with a 7-point lead against the Lions? I don't know. So I think it's going to kind of rely on his shoulders because as much as I love the Lions, we know they're going to shoot themselves in the foot at least twice, 2 to 3 times this game. So if Jordan Love can just coast, they should be fine. But I am 100% in favor of the Lions kicking a game-winning field goal and carrying off Dan Campbell on their shoulders. I'd just like to let that be known. And the last pass is Tim Boyle to Jamal Williams, and he flips off the Packers sideline as he runs off the field.
Aaron Rodgers was talking about Tim Boyle, and he was like talking about him really beautifully on his presser. He was saying that he missed him so much and that he was like a little brother. It was really sad.
Because he has to walk into the room every day and see Jordan Love there, just staring at him with his weird fucking face. Like, stop looking at me, Jordan. Like, you're a weirdo.
It's like if Will Ferrell and that other John, whatever his name is, in Step Brothers never got along.
Yeah.
Riley.
John C. Riley.
I read that they think Jared Goff's gonna play. Doesn't matter. I don't know. But another perk of having Rodgers playing this game, like he gets to go out there, read the Lions defense, go to the sideline, tell LaFleur what he's seeing, essentially tell everybody, hey, this is what they're doing. Yeah, this is what they're doing. This is how you beat them. Jordan, did you hear me? This is what they're doing. This is how you beat them. Then he goes in and maybe he'll get a first down. That'd be sick. Stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool. So I think the Packers are fine for this game. But I don't think the Lions are just fucking annoying. Like they hang around with teams. They have grit. They have no quit. They will do whatever it takes. They'll bite off kneecaps. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it. They almost beat the Seahawks last week for no reason. They were down by like 50 points, and they just turned it on.
Because of DK Metcalf. It's because of DK Metcalf sack.
There's this movie called Sex Drive. There's this movie called Sex Drive. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's really funny. It says their opener is gold, but their closer, like they don't know how to close. These two guys, they try to pick up chicks. Like they have really good opening lines, but they can never close and like seal the deal. And I think that's what the Lions do. They have like good openers, but they can't seal the deal there.
The Lions are like a shitty version of Tiger Woods. They're always hanging around, but unlike Tiger Woods, instead of like rising to the occasion, they almost always collapse on their ass.
I don't like this slander. I feel like Dan Campbell always closes the deal. No one collapses. He'll hold them up. I think it's going to be fine. I think the Packers' run defense, to your guys' point, I think will get tested in this game. Lions, even when they were playing their worst football, ran the ball well this year. Their offensive line's pretty good. DeAndre Swift, they didn't use until like the fourth quarter last week for some reason. That's when they started to play well. Weird. If Jamal Williams, and Cutstown's mayor, Craig, whatever, if they're all going, like that's a good trio. It's going to be tough. And if you talk about, now we have, what's his face? The linebacker that we drafted. What the fuck's his name? This guy who looks like Trevor. Isaiah McDuffie.
If doesn't look like me, but that's all right.
He looks identical to you. Just put a helmet on and looks the same. If he comes in for a
couple key differences,
I don't think so. But if he comes in for, they sit Campbell. Let's just take a guess and say he's one of the people they take out. Hopefully, that would make a lot of sense. Now we're asking like guys who don't know how to tackle to make every single tackle, and that's just not going to happen. It wouldn't surprise me if we have Henry Black play middle linebacker, just because that's a Joe Barry thing to do, and he's our sub linebacker for some reason. Like it's gonna come down to tackling in this game, and Packers haven't really shown that to be a strength.
This dude looks nothing like me, Zach. He has facial hair. Picture? I don't have that. Although look at this picture. Hair. Look at this dude. Legend. Again, very, very visual cues for a podcast. But hey, Flurry Sports, youtube.com/Flurry Sports. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Zach, you said you just brought up there that Henry Black playing linebacker. Kevin King played linebacker last game.
Yeah. Why? Like, that was the point. Like, my point. Like, that game meant nothing. We're just like, fuck it. Like, Jordan Love lined up at safety, I think. I'm pretty sure. It just didn't matter.
It's like an episode of Impractical Jokers. Like, hey, let's put Kevin King at linebacker. And then they just started all laughing in the room. Nobody's in on the joke.
They saw Kevin King make that first drive tackle that took him 8-9 seconds to complete, and then he celebrated for another 10 seconds. They're like, let's put him at linebacker. Let's see if we can get him hurt, because that guy's
And all he did was push him out of bounds. He didn't even really make the tackle. He just pushed him out.
Stopped him though. Attaboy Kevin. You did something right. I'm not gonna criticize him for it. Good job. That's great. Good for you. Anything else to say about this game? Do we want to make a score prediction? Because it doesn't. I can't emphasize enough. This game does not matter.
That's true.
It makes me angry that we have to even watch it.
It matters for the Lions, man.
I
can't turn on and off grit, man. That's not how it works.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Can you imagine the
Trevor,
people that bought tickets to this game? Damn.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I almost did it very early in the year.
Like, I would totally.
I love this Lions team.
I probably would just get blacked out drunk. Like,
me too, Janet.
Like, whatever. Like, this game is whatever. I'm just here for the booze.
And then you'd step out 2 feet and get robbed because Detroit. I'll go first though. I'm picking the Lions, like 27-24. Like I think Rodgers in there for 2 touchdowns. I think, like I said, they're up 14-7. I don't think Jordan Love can tread water enough, especially the Lions' run offense. I think is actually really good. Nobody's paying attention to it. Amon-Ra St. Brown is coming out of the woodwork. If some of the cornerbacks are sitting, that's going to be a nightmare too. And I just see them doing enough to getting it done. It's not against the Packers. It's against the Packers' depth, which we've been talking about all year that they don't have. So Lions 27-24. And this is going to be the game, man. Packers special teams touchdown. We're moving it back another week. Book it.
I'm telling you, it's not even possible. It doesn't matter who's on the field.
We were only like 50 yards short last game.
Only.
And he's not going to play anymore. He's done.
Just half the field.
Well.
Hey, you never know. Somebody else might be back in the woodwork. You know, we don't know.
Literally nobody. That's the problem. There's nobody here.
Gotta believe, man. Gotta believe.
Drayton goes into his returner's room and it's just a bunch of mirrors, him looking at himself. Like, this is sad. And then all of a sudden there's Amari Rodgers.
Actually, tumbleweeds.
Possibly. Luke, what's your score prediction for this highly anticipated game?
This feels like a weird game. This feels like a scoregami. 25-18 Packers.
Scoregami. I've never heard that before. I'm gonna say. You want to be successful? Oops, sorry. You gotta hustle.
Was it Dan Campbell?
No.
Oh.
That'd be funny,
I'm confused
right?
as to what that did. What was the point of that quote? If it's not Dan Campbell,
Wouldn't that be funny if I just played it right before I said that they're gonna win? They're gonna hustle. I say, fuck. I'm gonna say 24-14, and I'm gonna go for the Lions. What? I want them to win.
Ford Fiesta Friday is gonna be lit.
Man, I'm gonna go 24-20 Packers, and I think 21 of the points are scored by Aaron Rodgers. I think that and then possibly Crosby might get a field goal while Rodgers is still playing too. I think Jordan Love's going to have quite the day, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be fantastic. Anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here? No, I can't wait.
What are your guys' opinions on rainbow sherbet? I think it's an elite flavor of ice cream. But I've been told it's not that good.
I don't know if you guys saw Ben Kirk's post where he the game that he kneeled at the end, and he like posted his knee like. Yeah, he got to play in the game. That's gonna be Jordan Love. Like he just, yeah, I played.
Do you think he
We're
did
just
a
gonna
jersey
gloss
exchange
over
with
Rainbow
anybody?
Sherbert, aren't we?
I was going to. There's no R there, so technically it's Sherbet. If you want to be that kind of guy, if you want to
Just
say
answer
that,
the question, please.
I think I did.
I think it sucks.
There you go. You got 3 opinions, and 1 was answering your question. You have any other questions for us?
That's about what I expected, to be honest. Do you want another question? I can think of one on the spot.
Go
There
for
isn't anything in this world that I haven't eaten that I don't like. So I like all kinds of ice creams.
I feel like that's
That
something
seems
we need to venture
problematic.
into in a future episode.
We do.
Um,
I need people to send me exotic foods to try.
You heard it, people.
we live in Wisconsin. I don't know what exotic foods we can send you.
I just was up there and I ate everything I saw.
Well,
Did you
I
guys
don't know
see-
where to go with that.
Did you guys see
Yeah.
Did you guys see that brat that my brother made me? Because he was
Yeah.
fucking wasted. He made me.
Wasted?
What?
He was wasted. He was gone. Like, look at the brat he made me. Look at how much
That thing looks pretty good.
Why do you
Does
still
look
have
good.
that picture on your phone? Like, that's my
Because
question.
because it was so funny. Look at how much mustard he put on there.
That looks like my kind of brat.
He was so drunk when he made it. That was, yeah. Good times. So
On that
Je-
note, have a nice weekend. We'll be back next week to talk about
Claws up.
Claws up. Maybe we'll do a Lions season review next week. Maybe we'll see.
Don't
We'll see how
tempt
this game
me.
goes.
Don't tempt me like that. I'm gonna get my hopes up.
We might. Maybe we'll
We're
break
all
down
getting
playoff
those-
teams, but who knows?
we all just show up to the next episode wearing those Dan Campbell shirts.
Oh, yeah. Miami's going to be here very soon.
mysportshirt.com/
Grind. Grind. Get your Dan Campbell shit now.
you
Luke,
have to
don't you
think
shake
about
your
how to spell
Lucas,
grind?
Luke is so disappointed in us
No.
right now.
You paused a little bit, so I was a little concerned.
Why don't you like Dan Campbell? He seems like your kind of guy.
Because he coaches the
Yeah.
Lions.
Who
But
cares?
the
Like Jared
Lions were your
Goff.
favorite guy at quarterback, so
Yeah.
you're
It's
just
okay.
a hater, man.
No, fuck the Lions. Jared Goff deserves better.
He deserves nothing.
Mm-mm.
He
Deserves
deserves
better.
Tim Boyle deserves better.
He does. Tim Boyle deserves the world.
Tim Boyle can go to
Okay.
hell.
Well, that's just.
We need to get out of here before
I know.
Luke says something that he will regret.
Hey,
Okay,
by
He
the
looks-
way,
He looks
if you
too
know,
sleepy to say something he's gonna regret.
hey, if you see McDuffie, tell him his twin brother Trevor Land is looking for him.
That one picture looked just like him. Watch it on YouTube.